Apollo, this calls for a new approach. Try to think outside the box. Or in this case, inside the box. And what a doozy that locked room is, too. Well, Mr. Justice, do you have anything that could counter the prosecution's argument? I do. I think I do. You bet I do. The real killer must have escaped from the locked room one way or another. Vague conjecture shall only earn you a taste of my blade, Justice Dono. Time to do or die, literally. The defense will now explain how it could be possible to escape the locked room. You sure about this, Apollo? Can you really explain what happened? I'm fine. We just need to think this whole escaping a locked room thing over from the beginning. So, let's see. It's clear to escape. How could they have done so? The choices are pretty limited. Here's how you do it. There's the window, but it doesn't open wide enough for anyone to get through, and there's a sheer cliff outside. As for the air vent, oh, that's what I was thinking. It's up too high, and there's nothing you could stand on to reach it. And needless to say, the forbidden chamber wouldn't open no matter what we did. So that's out. Yeah, that's why we gotta keep the solution simple. Like they say, simple is best. Oh man, how did he escape? We need to rule out all the absolutely impossible escape routes. Then whatever's left just might lead us to how the Fox Chamber was compromised. Your Honor, the defense proposes that the killer escaped through here. Where would he escape from? We're just gonna do the front door. I don't know what else to do. Oh well, that's the only thing.
Take that!
The hallway door? Well, yes, I suppose that would be the only way out. It would appear you've already forgotten. The only available key until Jinxie Tenma came out to see was with that locked room. How would one exit the Fox Chamber and then lock it without a key? I should have seen this coming. Remember, Apollo, keep it simple. Simple, right? I could understand if the killer had exited the room with a key, but I'm fine. I can explain myself. Was because Mayor Tenma locked it himself after the killer fled the scene, just in case the killer decided to return. That would explain why the room was locked. Yes, I see. Then again, wouldn't Mayor Tenma have mentioned that himself? Oh, maybe if it slipped his mind because of that blow to his head. Ag! I have already considered and investigated such possibilities. You have? The mayor's fingerprints were not found on the door of the doorknob. The only fingerprints found belonged to the alderman. Ergo, the mayor did not so much as touch the door. Oops. He's guilty, isn't he? Freak. F my life. This is gonna get skipped. Guilty. Yay, he's guilty because I'm a freaking idiot. Let's do this again. Skip this. Maybe the door closed accidentally, on its own. Hack! The killer will never be identified if we attribute key moments to mere chance. Perhaps that spear just happened to fly off the wall and impale the alderman too. Perhaps that sedative just happened to make its way into his coffee. Mere chance could explain any number of things. Right, next idea then. Oh my gosh, are you serious? What if the room was locked from the outside? In other words, the killer took the key through the hallway door, then locked it. Youch! Consider this. The master key was found inside the tightly locked fox chamber. Any assertion that the key was moved from that room is a blatant contradiction of fact. Exiting the room before locking the door would require taking the key outside, but the key was found inside the room, which does seem like a contradiction. If only we could explain both, like how the key could be inside the room and be used to lock the door from the outside. Well, let's see if the defense can respond before Lago draws a sword. Maybe someone threw it in from the hallway when Jinxie opened the door. That would explain. Ah! Perhaps we should ask the little scamp herself. When you opened the fox chamber, did you witness anyone throw the master key inside? Sorry, I didn't see anyone else there. Oh. What a pity. Or perhaps you intend to accuse the witness of murder? You leave me no choice. Penalty for random speculation and lack of force. Son of a gun. Ugh. How could someone gotten the key into that locked room? What if someone threw it into the room from outside? You know, something like go out the hallway door, lock the room, and then toss the key back in through the window? That would explain how the master key could have been inside the locked room. And where would you throw it from? There's a cliff. Oh, I'm not even thinking. Oh, right. Ah! I wonder if the key could have been tossed in from somewhere other than the window. The air vent? Yes, the window may be out of the question, but the air vent's not. Oh, that's right. The fox chamber's air duct leads out into the hallway. That's right. The real killer entered the air duct from the vent outside the fox chamber. Then dropped the key into the room through the vent inside the chamber. Urgh. That's preposterous. Oh, that explains how the key got in there after it was used to lock the door perfectly. Mr. Justice, I'm afraid I'm a bit confused. Don't worry. I'll explain it so even Your Honor can understand. First, the real killer disguised as Tenma Taro murdered the alderman in the fox chamber. Then they fled the room through the hallway door and locked it. Next, they entered the air duct from the vent outside in the hallway. Finally, the killer tossed the key into the room through the air vent in the ceiling there. All that was left to do after that was go back to the duct and flee the manor. Well, Your Honor, could that be any clearer? Amazing! Even I could follow that. The judge seems really pleased. That explains everything. The real killer was someone dressed up like Tenma. And there was someone else other than the mayor and the alderman in that room. Hey, looks like that lawyer is beating the jailbird prosecutor. Whoa, that was a total turnabout. That massive forehead of his seems so much more attractive now. Order, 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 I say! Now that I proved a possible third party, I don't see how our client could be guilty. Silence! Silence! A valiant effort. Justice don't know, but your final thrust missed its mark. Huh? Both that little scamp and the tricksy Tanuki saw the yokai after it left the room. But then what? Did that irksome yokai simply go through the foyer and waltz right out the front door? That's exactly what happened. The killer fled from the youch! But that is impossible. Without being spotted by the foyer's security camera, that is. The guy here would have captured any pesky little yokai trying to escape. However, there is no sign of Taro anywhere in the security footage. What? Save for the foyer entrance, there is no other way to flee the manor, is there? I don't feel so good.
Hold it!
Wait! I believe there is one other way to escape besides the foyer entrance. There's a large window in the foyer. It's possible to escape through there without being seen by the security camera. Hey, you're right!
Silence!
Must I point out every crucial detail to the defense? It seems you lack not only brains, but investigating prowess to boot. That is the cliffside of the manor. The only killer escape that way would be a dead one. No! Wait, so the killer didn't escape out the foyer window? What the heck, right? Ha, I suppose your next proposal is the killer sprouted wings and flew off into the sunset. That would mean the killer really was a yokai. If only we had some sort of evidence that could point to a flying killer. Who's saying we don't? As completely far-fetched as it might be. What? You're saying you can prove the killer could fly? Yes, I can. Paper. Whoa, I thought I was the one with the cords of steel. Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Your Honor?
Take that!
Take a look at this special edition paper. Taro really real or flight of fancy? What does this article prove, Mr. Justice? The photo in that article was taken shortly after the murder. Maybe the yokai in that photo is the killer shortly after they fled out the window. Mr. Justice, you're not seriously suggesting? Oh, I'm serious. I mean, it all adds up. The killer disguised as Taro flew away, you know, by some way or another.
Silence!
It is your brain that has flowed the coup. That image is not but trick photography or some other form of artifice. Okay, then how about the Taro figure Mr. Phil saw? Is it just vanished into thin air? No, there is a rational common sense explanation for that. An infernal yokai, our Trixie Tanuki witness, never reached the entrance. He, or should I say she, turned back before the camera's electric eye. She? I don't like where this is going one bit. Now the fact that we know the yokai had come from the Fox Chamber means that it was likely either Mayor Damien Tenma or his daughter Jinxie Tenma. However, we know that the Mayor Tenma was already unconscious at the time. Not good, not good at all. Do you understand the gravity of the situation now, Justice Dono? The falsified yokai remnants and the appearance of Taro were the work of one individual. And that individual is none other than Jinxie Tenma. Ah, no! Oh, did I lose? Do I lose this case? I don't know. Order! Order! The defense will stop competing for the greatest freakout ever. The little scamp was no doubt simply trying to protect her father. And it's no wonder that her superstitious mind conjured up this mad masquerade. Prosecutor Blackwell's assertion makes perfect sense to me. It's far more convicting than saying the killer escaped by flying out of the window. Did you truly believe this could have ended any other way? Did we fall right into his trap? What do we do now, Apollo? Our case no longer stands without a real yokai, if only we had one. Bailiff, seize her. It is time I interrogated her as the samurai of yore would. Oh! Mayor Tenma. This farce is over. How does it feel seeing your own daughter accused of a cover most foul? Tenma Taro's true identity is... Now, Mr. Mayor. It would be futile at this point to claim you were the yokai. After all, you'd been knocked out cold by a blow to the skull. Slipping into a yokai costume and roaming about the manor would be all but impossible. Consider this well. As it stands, your daughter will be arrested for obstruction of justice. But if you confess, the prosecution would be willing to overlook her little yokai farce. Confess? The defendant hasn't confessed. Wait! Apollo! Prosecutor Blackwell's up to his mind games again. Mayor Tenma, no! Don't fall for his twisted words. If you're sent away for murder, Jinxie will be all left alone. The real killer is... Mayor Tenma's going to confess unless we do something. But I can't prove how the real killer could have flown it away. Go. Look upon me in despair, for ripe is the time for my return. Uh-oh. I should watch what I wish for. Oh my gosh, are you serious? Caw, foolish mortals. I am Tenma Taro, the yokai you seek. Mayor Tenma? Silence! I am Tenma Taro, freed from the bonds binding me to Forbidden Chamber. Behold the return of the Demon King. What the? Demon King? Well then, I think it's time for me to take a vacation. The witness will. He will explain himself. Are you saying you're Tenma Taro, the yokai we've been chasing this whole time? Indeed, it is I, Tenma Taro, the one whom you seek, come to reveal his truth. This child is Tenma Taro, you say? Ha! What nonsense. So, Mayor Tenma is a yokai now? His body is not mine. So you're saying that Mayor Tenma is being possessed by you? And that the yokai that Jinxie Tenma and Phineas Field saw? And the one captured in the newspaper photo? Those were all you? The crushed power of these warning shots prevents me from revealing my true form. Your boldness. Can this not be interrupted as an admission of guilt? Well, a confession by a yokai would be quite unprecedented. Be that as it may, the defense's case has been overturned. Huh? What? You claim the yokai that little scamp saw was some third party, the true killer. The one who escaped from the locked fox chamber. But it was the accused all along. Arg! Ironic, is it not? Your yokai turned out to be a real, in a manner of speaking. For the alderman's killer is none other than the Mayor Tenma. And the yokai at the scene? That too was Mayor Tenma, or should I say, our dear Tenma Taro. The pieces have all fallen into place. How so, Professor Blackwell? Prosecutor, sorry. It seems I must spell it all out for you. Mayor Tenma killed the alderman of the fox chamber, which was locked at the time. He then removed the warning charm from the Forbidden Chamber's door, but then fell unconscious from the blow the alderman had delivered to his head. That's when his daughter Jinxie Tenma stumbled upon the scene of the crime. The little scamp fled in terror, whereupon the beard of Tenma Taro, freed at last from the chamber warding effect, took possession of the mayor. The newly freed Tenma Taro then fled from the fox chamber. Do you see the yokai Jinxie Tenma saw was her father possessed by Tenma Taro? But when we arrived at the scene, the mayor was found unconscious. How's that possible? He was supposed to have flown out of the foyer window. Then what? Do you mean to say the maid of QB Manager Jinxie Tenma was Tenma Taro? Oh. Ah! That too was easily explained. I flew about for a time, but I did presently tire. I made for the Forbidden Chamber, but alas, exhaustion took me unawares in the Fox Chamber. I knew no more. It would seem the pieces are still in place. Is Blackwell up to his tricks again? I don't know what to say. Is the defendant a real live? So that rumor about Mayor Tenma is true. I knew yokai were real. You mean he really did kill the alderman just so he could release Tenma Taro? Order! Order! Now he's got everyone in the courtroom believing in yokai. It's Simon Says on steroids. He wants to convict our client any way he can if he means blaming yokai. The proverbial ducks are all in a row. You should now have no qualms about finding the accused guilty of your baldness. This is one of the most bizarre cases in my entire career. Otherworldly, in fact. Can yokai even be prosecuted under our legal system?
Objection!
Mayor Tenma is just pretending to be Tenma Taro to protect his daughter. Plus, I already proved how a third party could have escaped from the locked room. A verdict at this point would be premature. Alright, we're gonna end it, save it here. It's been a long time. So we're gonna save it here. We spent a lot of time in this. So, I'm gonna end it here. I want to thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day.